All right, so Debbie asks about niching down as a copywriter, which is Module 8's content. Her question is, I guess my question about a niche is how to avoid a conflict of interest if you focus on a particular niche. Okay, great question. The the answer can be several things. So a conflict of interest basically being that you are selling almost the identical thing for a competitor that you did for a previous client or something like that. That's what I'm assuming you mean by conflict of interest. Um, there's a couple answers. Either don't niche down that hard. So, if there's only 3 or 4 companies in your niche, then you may want to go up a step. So instead of um, stock trading for commodity options in the Japanese stock market newsletters, um, which I'm sure there's even more than 3 or 4 actually, but the if you're niched down too far and there's not that many people in the niche, then the the next option is just jump up. So you'd be stock trading for commodity options or stock trading or for the Japanese stock market or something like that, or maybe even just stock trading or finance in general. So the thing with niching down is you're trying to answer the objection in most people's minds, which is this right for me? That's the number one objection that people get. So is this right for me? Sitting in their when they're reading your copy or when they're looking at hiring you, that question is going to be bouncing around in their head, and you want to answer that question with your title or with the type of person you are, because it's going to create less friction down the line and open up more conversations. It's a little counterintuitive. You'd think that by being more open, you would get more business. But in reality, the few people who reach out to you when you're the most open copywriter are not necessarily the best clients, but the real clients are sitting there waiting to see someone who's specific to their needs. And then it's up to you to really dictate what niches you work with, because those people are going to be looking for people like you. Most copywriters do not niche down at all. And so you're at an unfair advantage if you niche even a little bit. So that's one thing. Find a bigger niche. The other option is the copy that you write is typically for a particular product in a particular industry. If the competitors are creating something that is an indirect competitive thing versus a direct copy of another product, then it's an ethics thing, and you can decide whether or not you want to write for that product or not. I'll give you an example. I have written for multiple high-ticket coaching products and LinkedIn products and several different products over the course of my previous client, but they weren't directly competitive because they were selling something else rather than the exact same thing. But I did actually refund a client who paid me, and when I got to his application and spec sheet, I was able to see that he wanted me to literally copy a VSL that I had written for a previous client in his niche and apply it to his own product that was identical to that particular product. And so I refunded him. But I've written multiple products in personal development, around chakras for multiple products. I've written, multiple mindset products in personal development that have various similar ideas. But for me, there was no conflict of interest because the author was different, the mentality was different, the modality was different, and so I could sell using different ideas. But I would never take a big idea or a concept or even a framework that I've used for one letter and apply it to another letter in the exact same competitive space, because I do feel that dilutes my effectiveness as a copywriter and kind of screws myself over if I want to go back and beat the control or get work from that client again. So that's my answer to that, Debbie, is either bring your niche up higher so that you're more broad in terms of the industry that you're offering to, while still maintaining that power of niche positioning, or just make an ethical judgment every single time a client comes to you. Because I would rather deal with the problem as it comes than try to, like overthink the problem before it occurs. Does that make sense? Cool. Elena, welcome. How's it going? Cool, cool. Okay, Debbie has another question. She says, I have two niches in which I have quite a bit of experience. First, my work with Todd Brown and Scott Olford. I can write for internet marketers. Okay. What's the next one? Good. Oh yeah, it's cold, right? You're in Denver, Aurora, something like that. I forgot about that. So it's cold over there. Got snow. That was for you, Lena. What was the second niche? Oh yeah, it does that, but still, snow is snow. Okay. Second, Debbie says, second, because of my coaching background, I could easily write for coaches in the personal development industry, parenting, performance, youth coaching, productivity. Is it okay to put myself out there for both industries? So here's what and you've seen the Module 8 content, Debbie. So those industries are not the same industry. For example, like I might think it's okay to say the fitness and supplement copywriter because they're similar. I know that obviously productivity and performance mindset bleed into business in some way, but internet marketing and personal development don't necessarily go hand in hand in any sort of clear, coherent way. So in order to get the maximum effectiveness from niching down and from being specific, I would pick a specific niche and then just play in that world until you have enough clout as a copywriter to do more of the tactics that I talked about in Module 8, where you're branding yourself and you're branding yourself as a copywriter, and people are coming to you to work in multiple niches. Because the power of niching down is for someone who can just look and say, oh, Debbie's a copywriter for personal development products. Then I need to talk to her. They're both very, very hungry for copywriting. Very hungry for copywriting. Yeah, no worries, Richard. So Debbie, both of those niches, internet marketing and personal development, are extremely hungry for copywriting. I think you'd have a lot of success in either because I've had a lot of success in both. So some of my clients were internet marketing clients. Some of my clients were productivity clients. I'm having lunch with one of sorry, not productivity, personal development. Well, I'm having lunch with one of my personal development clients here in LA next week. So there's a lot of work for both. I would just pick one, especially starting out if you've never been specific before. Two sales page. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that would be a good way to kind of vet which one you want to start with. Because if you've worked for Todd Brown and Scott Olford, and you can show those as well, those are two very well-respected, well-known names in the space. So that would be an option. But if you have personal development options, then that's awesome too. Which ones do you have the best results on? Like, could you claim that with your speakers page or youth mindset coaching, you got a certain number of sales or clicks or attention or all that kind of stuff? No results. Okay. What about with Todd's and Scott's? Was that more content based or copy based? Okay. So Okay, then you're kind of it's good that you have samples. You can also use the samples from assignments that you've written in this mentorship. I don't know if they're applicable to internet marketing. I forgot for personal development, but the you can show that you have samples in multiple niches, which is fine. I think samples are one of those things I have a love-hate relationship with because every single time I've been hired by a client for anything really high 4 figures or 5 figures in fees, they did request samples, but 9 times out of 10 they didn't read them, and so they just wanted to know that I had a packet of samples. So I think that putting samples of other things in the deck is fine. Yeah, every copywriter gets the exact same question. It's, hey, can you send me your samples? Or, hey, can you send me your deck or your rate card with that kind of thing? It's every single copywriter gets it because that is the question that people are trained to ask copywriters to sound and look professional, even when they have no idea what they're doing. So it's our job. I mean, module 2, I talk about it a little bit. It's our job to kind of reframe the conversation from simply delivering copy to being hired to transform their business. No, they have no idea. And on top of that, the whole idea of samples is ridiculous because prior copy, especially if it's not in your own niche or if it's not for your own product or your target market, is irrelevant to what your project's going to look like. But clients don't know that, and clients have been trained to ask for samples. And by not having samples, it plants one of the seeds of doubt in your client's mind of like, oh, well, is this person real or professional or, done this for other people, or can they really do this for me? That sort of thing. So it's good to have them. It's just good to understand what they're really for and what they're not for. Samples are not a sales message. They're simply like one of those extra little things. It's essentially the equivalent of one of those little guarantee badges on a sales letter page or a cart page that makes you feel better about putting in your credit card information. That's what samples are for copywriting. I've never had someone read my sample document and go, oh, I wasn't going to hire you, but I read your samples and now I am. Let's see. All right. Giles says, I want to write a landing page where traffic comes from Facebook ads. The end result is wanting an email address. Okay. The offer is a weekly live online meditation, Buddhist-oriented. Should the page be an article, blog, or giveaway of some kind? Okay. So you're just trying to get an opt-in for people who are interested in Buddhist meditation, that you can then offer weekly live online meditation to. Is that what I'm understanding, Giles? Okay, so it's a two-part thing. You want their email so that you can then pitch them on the offer. In that case, the options that you listed are all good options, article, blog, or giveaway. In my experience, the quickest and easiest way to build an email list is to do a giveaway. That means you have more emails. With that, though, you're going to have to deal with a lot of people who are simply freebie seeking, who just want the giveaway. And you have to be very conscious about what you offer as a giveaway so that you don't attract people who are not into your particular thing. So I would not do an iPad giveaway. I would not do a gift card giveaway. In your case, I would start looking at physical products that are really cool, that tend to be out of reach of the person who you're trying to attract, but would be interesting enough for them to want to opt in order to win it. I did a whole series on it in a Facebook group a long time ago that I don't know if I have access to. I could probably go find the videos on my own stuff. But the general gist is that the giveaway has to be very specific to the target market, and it has to be something that's really compelling for them. So if you're doing Buddhist meditation, maybe it's like a really awesome statue of Buddha, like a really well done, really beautiful statue. Um, okay, so the sumo thing. I don't know what the sumo thing is, but I'm trying to think of physical products that someone would want to buy but haven't bought yet because they're too expensive. My sweet spot is kind of like over $100, but maybe under $300. I had a really, really successful giveaway with a client I worked with a few years ago who was in the parenting niche, and she wanted to attract parents of toddlers, and she gave away a really nice stroller, um, a really good one. We're talking like $150, $200 stroller, and she ended up putting like 1,500 people on her list in about a week just from that. All parents. She was getting 30 to 40% open rates on her emails. So that was an awesome win, but that was because it was specific. Yeah, King Sumo is a giveaway plugin. Up Viral is another one. Heyo is another one. Rafflecopter is another one. There's lots of different options. I don't think the mechanism of the giveaway is necessarily the most important thing. Um, I mean, you can get started. King Sumo I know is like a plug-in for a website. Uh, Up Viral I know you can pay for monthly and it's not too expensive, so that might be an option as well. But don't let the software get in the way. I think just pick one and go for it. It's more important than the software is the actual product you choose to make sure that you're getting the right people. And for Buddhist meditation, you're looking for people who are very into Buddhist meditation, not just like that personal development crowd. And I think that your giveaway is going to have to be contingent on attracting the really specific one. And I don't know if that's a big Buddhist statue, like a big bronze bust of Buddha, or if it's going to be like um, maybe like a package of natural incense for meditation, or for some sort of thing, like something that they, yeah, an antique Tibetan singing bowl. Sure, that's, yeah, absolutely. If it's something worth like over 100 to $150, that they would normally not be able to afford themselves or want to buy themselves. Basically, the best giveaway is a product they've wanted to buy but haven't bought because they can't justify the cost in terms of like priority for them, but they would still really want it if they got it for free. That's the perfect giveaway. And then you're going to get a lot of people who are, who can pay for stuff, but just don't necessarily have the priority of buying your particular thing. And now they're on your list, and now they're learning about you and getting emotionally attached and then buying your stuff. That's the perfect giveaway. Yeah. So I'd brainstorm a few things, but antique Tibetan singing bowl sounds cool. Okay. So I'm looking at your headline, Richard. So, how a lost secret hidden in a dusty old textbook unlocks the formidable power lying dormant within educated men of substance. Um, let's see. Daniel Sanchez gave a really long response, so I won't go over that one. In terms of this headline, um, I don't, if for your particular target market, I don't think they would understand or value the words formidable power, um, lying dormant within educated men of substance. And the whole headline reads very, very high in terms of, um, in terms of, what is it, Flesh Kincaid. I would run it through Flesh Kincaid and see what kind of reading level it's at, but I'm guessing it's like 9 or above. So formidable power doesn't really sound like something that would be interesting to the target market. And even though, and that's the power phrase, that's the hook. And the intriguing thing is like it's a lost secret hidden in dusty old textbook, which may or may not also be appealing to the target market. I know that like with preppers, they're all about secrets, they're all about conspiracies, they're all about that sort of thing. So lost things, secret things, dusty old textbooks, like hidden knowledge, all that kind of stuff is very appealing to them. But for your audience, 20 to 30-year-old men, I don't necessarily know that it's the same thing. I would focus more on result-oriented stuff or specific outcome-related stuff, and maybe like a tiny hero's journey inside your headline. So something like how, there was that one headline that I forgot that we did as one of the writing assignments, but it was like how a 6'4" gangly geek got, became whatever it was. So kind of like that hidden hero's journey inside of your headline for what they really want. But as it is, I don't really like the headline as constructed. This is a classic conundrum, Richard, where I think that you need to sell something on the front end, which is what they want, what these men want, and then give them what they need on the back end, because they're two separate things. And these men aren't necessarily the, go get 'em secret magic pickup line type men, but they are still young men. And what they want might not be formidable power, hidden secrets, things like that. What they want might be magnetically attractive to the most beautiful woman in the room, or walking in the room and immediately having the respect of everyone. Something like that. Something that they want that you can then teach them how to get through your system. That's how I would run the headline, but as it is, I don't really like it. Does that make sense? Cool. Yeah. And also, I think the headline that you're playing with right now is at a higher level of awareness than you want to initially tackle. Since you're in a newer market, you're not in the pickup market. You're trying to, teach men different stuff. You're talking to a different target market, smarter, more introverted, less focused on like getting girls and more focused on quality and personal development, things like that. Then because you're in a different market, your awareness level is lower in terms of numbers. So they're, more aware, they're less sophisticated in terms of the offers in the marketplace. So you can get away with more direct style headlines versus what you have going right here is more of a story lead or, more of a desire-based headline, which is much higher on the awareness scale, much higher up on the awareness scale. And I don't think that it serves you right now for the type of market that you're in. You could dominate your marketplace right now by coming in with a stage 2 headline that completely blows your competition out of the water and talking to a more aware audience, people looking for solutions, than people who are just having a desire. No problem. I think just intuitively, I feel like the magnetic attraction angle is something to look at, or instant attraction, magnetic attraction, immediate attraction, like gravitational attraction, immediate influence, stuff like that, those types of headlines. And Daniel gave a lot of advice here. It's actually good headline advice. Okay. So Debbie, I answered your questions on niching. Giles, we got your stuff about landing pages and giveaways. Richard, we talked about your headline. Yelena, do you have any questions? Okay. How's everybody doing assignment-wise, writing assignments, modules? Any questions on the content? I've heard from several people that I've spoken to on the phone that the content is dense and takes time to go through and go over. So if you need clarification or if you have questions on the content, please let me know, and I'd be happy to kind of outline them here. We don't actually talk a lot about the content on these Q&As, so I'd assume that the content was good, but hopefully it's not too dense for everyone. Okay, excellent. Storytelling model is a good one. I like that one. Yeah, 2 hours is rough. Giles, I know. I would have trouble sitting through a 2 hour video, but when I film these, I try to talk fast and go as quickly as I can, but they always end up being an hour over, sometimes two. Okay, so it sounds like the content is good. It's just dense and it's hard to get through because there's a lot of it. So, okay, yeah, the Bitcoin assignment. Who here on the call struggled with the Bitcoin assignment? Okay, yeah, okay. So it looks like everybody. Okay, good to know, Richard. Thank you. No worries. I'll go over yours first in the recording then. Yeah, the Bitcoin assignment was specifically assigned because I don't know, I don't personally know a lot about Bitcoin. I know enough, and based on the research and all the stuff that I've read about it. Um, but Bitcoin is still a little bit of a mystery to me, and it's hard to write about things you don't quite understand, and that's exactly why I assigned it. So, okay, Debbie has a question about it. When do you know to turn down a project? So, I've never turned down a project due to the difficulty of the project. I have turned down the projects based on like ethical reasons or misalignment, things like that. Things I won't write for, things that I won't do when people ask me to do them. I've fired clients before for being assholes, but not. I've never turned down an assignment because it was too difficult. With that said, though, I have turned down projects because they didn't quite sound interesting. Um, and I think that's the litmus test. Like when your client tells you about the project, do you go, "Oh, that sounds cool," or do you go, I don't get it," or "No, I don't like that," or "I'm not like that." That's the litmus test. It's just a gut feeling of when your client is telling you about the project. I'm naturally curious, and I naturally gravitate towards more difficult copywriting assignments because I like research, but if that's not everyone by any means. So if you don't have a good gut feeling about the project that you were presented with, then I just wouldn't take it, because you're gonna hate writing for it, and your copy's probably not going to be that good. Good question, Giles. What do I do for mindset when things are tough or I'm overwhelmed? Do I review previous successes or just set a timer and get on with it? That's a great question. So for me, I'll tell you what I do. I think everybody's got a different process for overcoming, feeling overwhelmed or dealing with a project or anything like that. So I highly encourage people to look at their own processes and their own personalities and how they do stuff. Some people do better with exercise. Some people do better with eating something or cooking something or walking or whatever. For me, I get the juices flowing and kind of stop being overwhelmed when I go listen to or read good copy in the same industry or niche. That kind of helps kickstart things for me. So if I'm struggling with a project, just a good example, I have a project I was writing a couple days ago for a survival item, and it's a physical product. And I was sitting there just kind of wondering what angle to take, and I wasn't super clear. I've written for this client before, but I wasn't super clear on the market here because they shifted their target market a little bit. But it was a really short assignment, so I didn't go back and do an enormous amount of research. So I was sitting there like, I don't have the research to fall back on because they shifted things, and it's a new product, and I don't really know where to go. I don't know what tactics to look at, what language to use, angle to take, that kind of stuff. So I spent the next couple hours watching and reading and looking at survival and prepper videos on ClickBank, and that really helped kick the juices started, and was able to power through that. So that's what I do. For if I'm struggling with procrastination on a piece of copy, or I can't find a good hook or anything like that, I go look at copy in that niche. But for mindset specifically, when things are tough or overwhelmed, gosh, I like, let's say life is getting you down, or life is just handing you crap after crap. Then I usually have noticed that it all comes in waves. And so I can now identify that when bad stuff is happening and I feel like I'm a little overwhelmed with the amount of bad stuff, that is pretty much right when things turn around. Like that feeling of overwhelm is actually a little bit comforting, because I'm like, gosh, okay, I'm at that point now where I do not feel good. But all of the times in the past where I felt this way, a breakthrough was right around the corner, like right there. So I have that mindset. It's completely false. Like, obviously, I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, but I have the mindset that when I start feeling overwhelmed, that is the thing that that turns it around for me. Like, oh, okay, then success is right around the corner, or something good's right about to happen. And then I also make up for it by taking action. And that sounds really vague and stupid and mindset-y and woo-woo. But for me, action is either a post on Facebook. I reach out to 10 clients or previous clients or people on Facebook, or I friend a bunch of people, or I write an article, or make a couple phone calls, read an article on how to do lead gen and execute on that, or something like that. All those things, I immediately try to take some sort of action where I'm publicly offering something, or publicly doing something, or taking some sort of positive action. And that, for me, has been able to create a lot of basically momentum. So that's what I do. I don't believe in forcing. Yeah. Yep, that was overwhelming, man. That was tough. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do what I did. I don't know if anybody noticed earlier last year, but I made a ridiculous offer in the Cult of Copy job board in order to raise enough money to help save my family's dog, Akira. And it worked. We saved her life. She got the surgery she needed. She got the money for the treatment she needed. It was all good. But that left me with a very large amount of work in a very short amount of time, with a lot of different clients that I'd never worked with before, in a lot of different industries that I'd never worked in before. And it was extremely stressful because I'm naturally the kind of person who wants to do a good job on everything. And so when I look at short deadlines, urgency, new market, and lots of new clients, that was extremely stressful. I would not recommend doing that unless you absolutely have to. But yeah. Yeah, she full 100% recovery. She even lost some weight, so she got a good deal out of it. She was getting a little chubby. All right, 8:46. Debbie, Giles, Richard, and Yelena. Any other questions for me? Okay. Questions on content. Let's see here. So let's talk a little bit. Maybe I'll draw some questions loose or anything like that. But here's what the next few weeks are going to look like. You're obviously working this week on the new assignment that was assigned on Monday. That is obviously due next Friday. And as most of you probably noticed, the assignment is due on the last day of the course. So the typical next week hot seat is not going to work, but what I'm going to do for this one, because I've offered everybody to stay in for the winter, if the winter program, if you want to, is I'm going to do a normal hot seat on that Thursday after December 5th. I don't know what day it is, and I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it would be that Thursday, normal time, to go over the assignment. Everybody will have access to it. Everybody's going to still be in the Facebook group, so if you want to attend that live and hear about your stuff, that's great. The new students are probably going to want to attend live and see how a hot seat works and see how we discuss things. So December 8th, thank you, Debbie. So it'll be 4 p.m. Mountain Time, December 8th. And that's going to be basically when the hot seat occurs. I'll obviously put the links up in the membership site that you guys have, do all that kind of stuff. On top of that, everybody here is going to be getting early access to the last 2 modules of content that I'm offering the winter group. And that early access is going to be uploaded into your membership site, the fall membership site, not the winter membership site. I believe we're building out a different one for the winter so that we can have a clear separation, we can keep the students organized and all that kind of stuff. So we're building out a new one for them. You guys will get access to it in your membership site. If it's not in your membership site, we're going to send you direct links. But that's going to teach you how to sell high-ticket services specifically, and it's actually about selling, not lead generation or marketing or anything like that. It'd be specifically about selling with some of my favorite scripts and closes and objections and things like that, objection handling. And then the next module is going to be how to generate leads for high-end services. There's going to be several options for you to take in that module: paid traffic, non-paid traffic, outreach, inbound, all that kind of stuff. But they're all successful. I've all tried them myself and gotten results from them myself. So both of those things are going to be coming to you guys early. I can't give you a delivery date on when they'll be there, but they will be to you guys early before the end of the 10-week program that starts. So that's going to be nice. This 8-week program was the first 8-week program that we've run, the previous one was 12 weeks, and the last one we did an assignment every single week rather than every other week. And so as far as the format goes, 8 weeks, 8 modules of content plus bonuses, and an assignment every other week. What did you guys think about that particular format? Okay. What worked well about it? What did you guys? Yeah, true. Well, one thing I would like to see is some critique on the written sales letters we did. What is that, Giles? Oh, you mean the daily assignments? The daily ones. Okay. Oh, okay. So kind of like a breakdown of what you're writing. Okay. I've heard that. I've heard that feedback before. So I might consider that. Yeah. I've never done copy hour myself. I might have to jump in there and see how they do things. Okay, so the 2-week time frame for the assignments is good. Um, daily copying gets the flow in your head, which is what I hoped. Good. Yeah. One thing I've noticed is that, and this is just an observation that I've seen from one course to the next. So the 12-week guys who were doing one assignment per week actually had less problems turning the assignment in late or not doing the assignment than this group that is doing them bi-monthly. So I do think there is something to be said about rapid copy iteration every single week. I will say that the assignments that are being turned in now are much better than, especially than the initial ones that they were turning in. Um, but I have had a more of a problem in this course with people turning things in on time or at all with the 2 weeks. So 2 weeks might be nice for most people who are busy and working, but I also think that it lends itself to a little bit more procrastination. Mm, okay, and that's a good note too, Richard. Okay, different types of copy, Debbie, like Facebook ads, um, opt-in pages, that sort of thing. Okay. Hmm. Okay, that's a good option. I can't see who wrote that. Who wrote that? It's not telling me. Okay, so who here waits to start writing their second assignment until after the hot seat? Um, Yelena, that's a good suggestion. Okay. Okay, so Debbie, you would want to see a little bit more stuff on different types of copy. Okay, that was one of the things that that I did sacrifice with this course because doing a daily assignment for 12 weeks, I stopped them doing sales letters after the first 6 weeks, but you guys are only writing 4 total. Um, because I wanted them to write emails and advertorials and things like that. So I think I might add that back into the winter course, maybe a sales letter, video sales letter, advertorial, and an email sequence or something. Okay. Okay, so, and a lot of people wait until after the hot seat to get started on their project, and that means that you're losing about a week, or at least 4 days before you start. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna write some of this down. Thank you guys. This was awesome feedback. So, different types of sales letters or messages. One of the things that I've noticed a lot of people after the mentorship course go out and do for clients is email. Because email is less intimidating than writing a sales message, but it's also less lucrative. A lot of people are comfortable starting with email, but that also means there's a lot of people who are offering to write emails. Different types of sales letter messages. Sorry guys, I'm just writing some stuff down. So let's see. Analysis of the daily handwriting. Okay. I have stuck with not doing an analysis of the daily handwriting. One, for expediency's sake, because doing a daily breakdown of a sales letter when you're only writing 30 minutes of it isn't the greatest use of anyone's time. Most people can't complete the sales letter in 30 minutes. And I put 30 minutes as a hard cap because the first mentorship group I ran, I had them write the entire thing every single day, and that got really stupid really quick. So, I mean, that's what I did when I first did my mentorship, but again, it was really stupid. I don't think that it accomplished the same goal that everybody thinks it does. People think that you're going to be a better copywriter because you handwrite the whole thing. But the reality is the handwriting only teaches you the tone and the flow and the cadence and gets you exposed to really good copy. That's it. And so once it's accomplished that goal, the goal for handwriting is complete. You're not going to learn much else unless you're doing more modern ones in your specific niche, or you are, you're capturing old ideas and putting them into new markets or new ways of doing things, which again takes a lot of tweak and artfulness. I think that it's great to know and see old copy and understand it and get the flow for it, because I don't think there's a better way to see what the people have done. Current copy pisses me off because most people are using templates, and those templates for the most part suck. And if you're copying down the modern stuff, it's all going to look the same and feel the same and sound the same. So you start to realize as a copywriter how bad it is. But old copy, all is very unique and different, which is why I like to copy it. But if we did an analysis, or if we did a student analysis every single day, it might be helpful. But I do want to maintain the core of it. So that's a helpful suggestion. Thank you, Alina. I might consider doing the hot seats earlier in the week rather than on Thursday. I know, Debbie, you said it was nice to have a mental break, but I do think that not having 2 weeks to work on the program or the project until getting feedback from your previous one is an issue. So I might move it earlier in the week. And yeah, yeah, maybe 10 days. Okay. Okay, cool, guys. And then different types of copy, obviously. Well, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. That was a little, that was my Q&A for you. Okay, any other questions? It's 9 a.m., at least Pacific time, 10 a.m. Mountain. Any other questions on the content, the assignment, all this stuff? What's going to happen in the winter course? Any questions on the referral incentive that I talked about? Anything like that? Giles, if you're interested in what we talked about earlier, go ahead and PM me. And yeah, if nobody has any questions, I think that's it. And everybody have a wonderful day. I'll wait a couple seconds to see if anybody has any, but I think we're done. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're in the U.S., Thanksgiving. For the extra content, Richard, I'm not sure. I don't have a delivery date on when it'll be, but I do know it will be before the winter guys get access to it. So whenever it's done is when we'll get it to you guys. My pleasure, Elena. Thank you. Yeah, it's the day. It's the day where every American justifies their habit of overeating rather than feeling guilty about it, because we do it every day. But with Thanksgiving, it makes it okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and ladies, thank you for your attention, time. We'll have one more of these next week, and then obviously all of you are invited to the winter program, so we can keep having these for the next few weeks as well. Thank you. Have a great one. Have a great Thanksgiving or whatever you celebrate in other countries, and I will talk to you on Friday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for the hot seat on the Bitcoin assignment, which is going to be fun. Until then, talk to you in the group. See you later.